Let's execute an immediate, high-gear tactical vector shift away from claustrophobic prison blocks and behavioral FBI tracking loops, and drop directly onto the calculation-heavy database grids of commercial genetic ancestry platforms, cyber-vigilanticism networks, and dark identity theft conspiracies. We are crossing the threshold directly into the hyper-monitored bloodline registries, digital hunting grounds, and raw wilderness sanctuaries of the northeastern United States with The Match, the exceptional, rapid-pulsing second deployment anchoring the chart-topping Wilde series by the undisputed reigning sovereign of modern high-concept domestic suspense and domestic noir, Harlan Coben. This high-stakes narrative tracking sequence delivers a thrilling look at an operational crossroad where a modern primal survival asset, a matching DNA profile upload, and a lethal cyberbullying syndicate collide at terminal velocity. Let's lay out the strategic narrative grid. If you are a fan of high-octane, slow-burn psychological thrillers where a brilliant, feral investigator must navigate an absolute maze of corporate tech conspiracies, elite reality television scandals, and a deadly ring of internet executioners while running a blind survival loop across modern civilization, where an analytical mind uses deep natural tracking, digital database scanning, and absolute physical autonomy to outmaneuver institutional threat vectors, and where the author utilizes an incandescent abandoned child of nature hunting his own origins diagnostic routine to test our hero's structural survival perimeters, this book is engineered to lock you in. Coben completely dominates the high-tech genetic noir dynamic, capturing the heart-racing physical momentum, claustrophobic media manipulation, and deep existential trauma popularized by genre vargs like Linwood Barclay, David Baldacci, Robert Craze, and Michael Connelly, while treating modern consumer genetics, viral internet subcultures, and primal woodland survival tactics with absolute technical mastery. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on Wilde, a masterfully calculated blueprint of primal resilience, operating under a severe calculation-heavy handicap. Found abandoned in the Ramapo Mountains as a young boy, with no memory of his family or true name, Wilde's entire daily workspace is an intricate matrix of off-the-grid forest structures, secure military-grade communications, and the deep, heavy isolation of a man who belongs to no one. His internal defense mechanisms are locked down tight behind a layer of absolute wilderness self-reliance, his entire analytical focus strictly consumed by monitoring human anomalies, parsing tracking patterns, and shielding his vulnerable peace from being entirely overwritten by the overwhelming chaos of modern society. The spark ignites when his active scanning perimeter registers an unexpected life-altering structural anomaly. A digital ancestry database flags a near-perfect matching profile, suggesting a direct biological connection to his mysterious origin timeline. The official diagnostic metrics of his solitary life flatline instantly, as he reaches out to track down a biological father who vanishes almost immediately after the match is made. An unmapped cybernetic conspiracy engages. The standard boundaries of familial searching crumble, leading him into a dark labyrinth involving a secretive online group known as Boomerang, a ruthless cyber-vigilante network that targets internet trolls, whose digital operations are directly linked to a string of brutal, high-profile murders. The tactical parameters instantly explode as his survival and investigative warfare turns completely active, transforming the affluent suburbs and the high-tech corporate offices into a volatile psychological pressure cooker and a physical battle zone. Our veteran survivalist asset is forced to deploy his massive intuitive tradecraft, environmental mapping skills, and raw wilderness tracking stamina to maintain his perimeter against an enemy that dominates the vertical digital high ground. When highly trained corporate cleanup units, deceptive television producers, and calculation-heavy assassination algorithms launch aggressive countermeasures to permanently suppress the truth, his survival instincts engage their final deployment tracks. Every midnight mountain patrol, every silent choice to break through an urban perimeter beyond standard legal frameworks, and every intense moment of channeling his deep woods tracking tradecraft chips away at his reliance on original defensive rules. What follows is an exceptional high-stakes war of perspective, tactical position, and raw human grit. We watch the digital empire's deceptive perimeters completely unwrapped as Coben reveals that the true victory requires more than just finding your biological identity or clearing a cold forensic file. It demands an absolute, uncompromising defense of personal freedom and hard truth against a cold, calculating cybernetic monster. While our central protagonist smooths over his emotional and defensive blind spots with devastating analytical force, a brutal series of close-quarters tactical confrontations and high-stakes personal trials shifts the clock into its terminal phase, proving that external hazards have tracked his movement to the final outpost. To survive the impending lock-grid trap and permanently secure his sanctuary, our resilient hero must unleash an absolute, unyielding defense of his final boundary lines.
It is a primal action thriller / high-tech espionage noir / corporate deception drama / high-velocity cybernetic suspense masterpiece that treats deep localized forensics and intense physical friction with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We are talking about that high-frequency, one digital click alerts a lethal hacker syndicate energy, where a sudden pause in an online forum, an unexpected shift in an informant's protective physical posture during an active handoff, or a heavy, possessive realization that an invisible organization has completely mapped your ancestral vulnerabilities carries massive structural weight. Coben writes with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the cold, metallic hum of server rooms, the oppressive, heavy atmosphere of a deep wood storm rolling over a mountain peak, and the distinct, subtle scent of wet soil, pine needles, modern electronics, copper, old parchment, and pure, unadulterated suspense. What truly elevates this contemporary mystery into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to balance realistic genetic genealogical mechanics and genuine high-stakes wilderness survival tradecraft alongside a breathtaking narrative pace and deep conceptual hooks. Our protagonist doesn't rely on unbelievable Hollywood superhero action tropes. His immense situational intelligence, strategic patience, and profound survival instincts match the complexity of the chaotic modern corporate and digital underworld he dominates step for step, making his choices to risk everything feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense conversational standoffs and breathtaking personal breakthroughs before ratcheting up to an absolute jaw-dropping conclusion that delivers total, hard-earned advancement to his horizon. The Match is the definitive pro-level upgrade your high-stakes crime fiction and dark psychological suspense library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unput-upable. It proves that when your entire identity is targeted by a cold, calculating digital threat, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to lock your perimeters, trust your elite survival instincts, and fight like hell against the system to rewrite the data. So, secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to track Wilde.